What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the 12th episode of the Three Cone Podcast. I am your host, Riley Bymaster, here along with my fellow co-hosts, Matt Foreman and Brett Leibrock. What's up, boys?
Drinking beer.
I don't know, first time we all been on the pod in a couple months together.
Yeah, no, we were on the podcast 3 weeks ago, but good job, Brett.
Time flies.
He's not a math teacher, so counting's hard.
Riley knows all about it.
I do know all about that counting.
One thing that is new, Riley grew a ginger hair goatee, and now he actually looks like the Fighting Irish mascot.
I've had this since my senior year of high school, but thank you. Go Irish. Represented well at the Combine, which is what we're going to talk about here in a couple seconds. But yeah, so we got a full house with all three of us for the first time in a terribly long 21 days. So before we get to the Combine, before we talk about who our perceived winners and losers are for each position, we actually have some NFL news to cover. With now that the free agency is pretty much six or 7 days away, franchise tags have been handed out and some have not been handed out. So what I mean by that is Allen Robinson and Sammy Watkins were both informed that they are not tagged, and subsequently now they are unrestricted free agents.
Riley, was word you looking there subsequently?
What did I say?
Subsequently?
Yeah, whatever.
Also not an English major.
Definitely not.
You're like Shaq on NBA Live.
Hey, Shaq's my hero.
Man, that's that's terrible.
That's terrible.
Barbecue chicken.
All right. Let's see.
Allen Robinson,
Allen Robinson, and Sammy Watkins. Let's start with, if you guys just had to give me one team who would be a good fit, both NFL-wise and fantasy-wise, lay it on me. Brett, we'll start with you with your former Buffalo Bill, Sammy Watkins.
I would just play around and say Buffalo here, but that's only a real one. I think a real one and a real fantasy one is San Fran. That's where I would have him slotted to go. San Fran or Chicago.
Okay, Matt, what do you think about Watkins?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a chance he ends up back in LA, but I mean, obviously he can't be franchise tag now. I think there's a chance they both can re-sign with their current teams, but I think there's a better chance that both of them leave. Watkins, I could see. I think I'd like him in Chicago. Maybe Baltimore as well too. They're looking for a steady receiver there too. Another team that haven't seen too much talked about in terms of getting a free agent wide receiver in this free agent class is Seattle.
See, I don't know. Does Seattle? I'm not really sure about their cap situation. Like, do they have room to go out and?
I don't know what their cap situation is, but their wide receiver situation is awful.
Oh, it's rough, for sure.
Do you think they'll try to sign Paul Richardson back?
No,
I would say Richardson's gone. I think if they do sign anybody, I think they try to get more of a big body guy. So I don't really think they sign Watkins. I don't think they get A-Rob either. I could see a Moncrief signing.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
He'd be a decent fit.
I've been trying to acquire him so bad because I feel like you can for cheap.
Yeah, I have. I gave Josh Dotson for Moncrief straight up.
Holy shit!
I felt pretty solid about that, but that was before the Alex Smith trade. So
apparently the Redskins were looking at A-Rob and Watkins too, so that should temper any Dotson hype that there may have been left.
I mean, I get it that they might, be looking to try and strengthen their receiving core, but I don't really see either of the two big guys signing there. I think both of them sign in some place where they will be the guy and will be targeted, as a true number one receiver. So I think Baltimore is an interesting spot for A-Rob. I think Flacco would like to have a bigger receiver that he can throw to and, not just small guys like Michael Campanaro and, their best receivers over the last 4 or 5 years. So So yeah, I mean, I think Baltimore's a good spot for A-Rob. For Watkins,
I just looked up Seattle. Seattle's only got 13 million cap.
Yeah, but they're also going to be getting rid of Richard Sherman too, so that'll free up another $11 million in cap
and
space.
possibly Cam Chancellor or Earl Thomas, one of the two. I think could potentially be gone. Yeah, and if you're Seattle, you have to address the offensive line situation
Badly.
Probably running back too, because apparently none of their 68 running backs can, play.
I like Chris Carson.
I mean, Carson showed well, but he did it for 3 games and then he got hurt. So
It was a weird injury.
do you trust him as your number one and just not address it? If you're Seattle?
Probably not, but they still have other guys there. I mean, they're going to get rid of Lacey, but they still have
Lacey will be gone.
They have Procise they can pair with them, but Procise can't stay healthy either.
Right.
I'll give you a good free agency name that I think could maybe fit in well there. Carlos Hyde.
I don't know if they're going to want to invest that much money in a running back, though.
I don't think they will. I could see that being a Jeremy Hill spot.
Oh,
I really think
I
Hill
could
could
see
end
that
up
too.
in Seattle.
Yeah, that would be a good plan.
Especially if Procise can stay healthy, and then Chris Carson is kind of the mix-in guy who's more than a change of pace, but not really a backup, just kind of the in-between.
Kind of like Gio Bernard was for Hill with Hill.
Yeah, exactly. So I could see that being a Jeremy Hill spot. But I mean, I still like Procise. If he can stay healthy, I think he's electric. A fantastic receiver. Definitely a big dynasty buy low for me right now because you could probably get him for a late third. I definitely wouldn't pay a second, but you can probably get him for cheap. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see where kind of all these guys, sign and where a lot of them end up. So starting next week when free agency begins, the ball will get rolling and it'll be fun. So keep an eye out for Allen Robinson, Sammy Watkins, and see where those guys land. So that kind of takes us away from our free agency talk, our franchise tag stuff. Let's talk about this past weekend. The NFL Combine is officially over. Friday and Saturday were all the position player drills, and pretty much the only time when we fantasy degenerates really paid attention. So, I mean, we'll just start with quarterback, and we'll just kind of go through winners and losers of each position. So, Matt, were there any quarterbacks that really stood out to you who did really well this weekend?
I guess the big winner from the weekend was probably Josh Allen, if I had to pick a winner. Obviously, the dude's got a cannon for an arm. I remember I was watching on Saturday morning a little bit, and, I mean, he just, flung a ball 65 yards in the air like it was nothing. It just seems so effortless for him.
Oh, yeah. Best arm strength I've seen coming out in a while.
Since Jamarcus Russell came out.
I mean, bring on the comparisons. We've heard Jake Locker, we've heard Russell, we've heard pretty much anybody who's busted out. Gabbert was a popular one for a little while. But, yeah, for me, I thought Allen looked, pretty decent in all of his throwing drills. Accuracy and ball placement was a little bit off at times.
But, I mean, he doesn't have any chemistry with the guys he's throwing passes to either. So, I mean,
70-yard nice, though.
What was that, Brett?
I said that 70-yard bomb was nice, though.
Yeah, and he did it with ease. I mean, it didn't even look like he tried.
What's his face? Who was the wide receiver on that one? Who was it? There's somebody that we've been watching for a while. All I know is that when I watched it over again, he slowed up and looked back and was like, "Oh crap!" and he had to speed back up to go get it.
Yeah, so I mean,
impressive.
Yeah, and when you're in a situation where literally guys are just stepping up next in line, stuff like that's going to happen. So, but obviously, I'm really glad that Allen got to showcase his A+ arm strength. I'm glad everybody finally got to see it live, and I mean, he looked pretty good. I mean, he looked a lot better than Deshaun Kaiser did last year, and I liked Kaiser a lot, and he struggled with accuracy and just throwing 15-yard outs. He literally couldn't put it anywhere in the chest face region. So Allen did that. He looked pretty solid. Brett, did you have any others that you wanted to talk about winner wise?
for QBs.
Yes.
That kid out of Richmond, Kyle, and I'm gonna butcher his last name.
Laletta.
Laletta.
Yeah.
I thought he looked good. I thought he looked really good. Thought he was smooth in his delivery. I think that he's not a big arm talent guy, but I think he can make most of the throws, and I just think that he's got a good pocket presence. Like I feel like he's your standard pocket passing quarterback. I saw some people saying he's like a poor man's Jimmy G when Jimmy G came out, but I can maybe see it a little bit. Obviously, he's not going to be one of the big guys to go, but I could see him like around 3 in the actual draft.
Yeah, see, I'd be surprised if he goes round 3. I know he had a great Senior Bowl, and he's very accurate. He can, put the ball on a dime. Even while he's rolling out of the pocket, he can do that on the move. I mean, arm talent-wise, I'd give it a B if I'm grading it. So,
I think but he can throw.
His Senior Bowl numbers were inflated by a couple big passes in the Senior Bowl.
Right. And I don't know. I don't think he's a third-round guy. He'll probably be somewhere in mid to late 4th. And he's going to have to definitely sit for 2 or 3 years before he contributes at a starter caliber level.
He's one of the guys that the Patriots are going to look at the group behind Brady. He's going to be one of those guys. It's going to be Laletta. It's going to be Luke Falk. It's going to be guys like Mike White, Logan Woodside, like those types of players.
Yeah.
I saw odds on those guys on who the Patriots are going to take for betting.
Yeah, and I bet all 4 of those guys are probably in the top 10.
All right, so we'll jump over to losers for quarterbacks. I'll start. The only really loser that I saw was Mason Rudolph. He runs like Mose Schrute from The Office. That was the absolute best video that I think I've ever seen. I've never seen an athlete run stiff as a board and swing his arms down to the ground like that.
He's a pocket passer.
I don't care. He's still got to run like a normal dude. I was just shocked. We were talking about it pre-show. It's hard to really see winners and losers from quarterbacks outside of the throwing drills. So, that's just kind of my joke. That Rudolph's the loser.
I thought Mayfield was I think he was more of a winner than anything else. I heard he did well in the interviews. He tested okay. My losers would probably be Rosen wasn't very accurate in drills. Like we said earlier, you have to take that with a grain of salt. And I would have liked to have seen Lamar Jackson test as well too. I think he got some bad advice from his agent / mom.
I think mom or mom.
No, they're the same person.
Yeah, I know.
I think I thought I heard something somewhere that he was so mad that people kept asking him to do wide receiver. He's like, I'm not even going to test or something like that, which is dumb. But I thought Josh. If we have to name a loser, I would say Josh Rosen, just because I don't know, he wasn't accurate, but you got to take the grain of salt. But I also heard he didn't interview well.
Yeah, and we'll never really know about interviews. Only the 3 or 4 personnel guys from each NFL team will actually know how the interviews turned out. So
that concerns me though with prior reports.
What is this about the hot tub thing his freshman year, or is this about
I just saying that he's coachable and stuff.
The guy's had 4 offensive coordinators since he's been at UCLA. Why is that his fault?
No, don't get me wrong. I don't think anybody in the dynasty community should knock that. But in the real NFL world, that is stuff that they look at.
No way, he's a top 10 pick.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think his floor is 11.
11, exactly. Yeah, that's his absolute floor.
So he's a phenomenal talent, best arm talent in the class for me.
Did you see that report that came out that said an AFC team has Lamar Jackson as second on their board?
Yeah, I saw that too.
I love that. I love it.
I hope it's the Jaguars.
If it's the Bills, I'm going to jump off my balcony in my CJ Spiller jersey head first.
No, but so this is going to sound bad, but what is the difference between Lamar Jackson and Tyrod Taylor? Because neither are precision passers. Both have, pretty big arms. Both can run. I'm just saying.
Jackson's more explosive.
I agree. He's definitely the better athlete.
I don't know though, because Tyrod ran like a 4.49.
How many Heisman trophies did Tyrod Taylor win? Weird.
You guys keep saying like I like him. Like I don't like him as a QB.
Why not? Well, then, do you like Lamar Jackson?
No.
Why do you not like Lamar?
I think he's too inaccurate. I think he's a twig. I think he's going to get broken like RG3. His running scares me. He's too loosey-goosey with the ball when he does run. I don't think he's got a decent enough drop. There's just things that scare me. And from watching Tyrod for like the last 3 years, I'm sorry, but like I don't want a QB like that.
Yeah, like I agree with when he's rolling out and he's on the move and he's still a passer, the ball gets away from him. It gets away from his body. He doesn't protect it at all. His left arm is not on top of the ball how it should be when he's rolling. And just like other fundamental stuff like that, he does need to sharpen up because he is a 2-year project before he can start as an NFL quarterback.
I just think when he gets to the NFL, I don't think he's going to be ready for the competition. I think somebody's going to pop him, and I think somebody's going to pop him hard and give him kind of like a little bit of a shell shock type of thing. You know what I mean? Like he's gotten away with stuff, but when Aaron Donald comes up the middle at you or something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. But I mean, like from your weight, point, if he sits for 2 years, guarantee he's going to put on 15 pounds of muscle.
I think he needs to.
Without a doubt. Oh, he will. And like they'll have him on, nutrition plans and stuff like that just to put on a little bit of weight without slowing him down. So, I mean, I get the concerns. He's not number 2 on my board. He's my number 3 quarterback. So, it's pretty distant from 1 and 2, but
as a team that needs a QB, I don't want to touch him in the first round anywhere. In the actual draft, you know what I mean?
Yeah, theoretically, yes. But, say you are – I don't want to say the Jags, but say you are the Bills and, it gets to pick 24, 25.
We have 21, 22.
Oh, I know. I know. Let me finish. So if it gets to picks 24 and 25 and you did not take a quarterback with your back-to-back picks and all of a sudden, let's say Josh Allen goes 24 because he fell and then somebody moves up and say takes Mason Rudolph and you're one of those teams in the mid-second, early to mid-second that needs a quarterback, you're going to trade up to get him just to make sure you get your guy. So he may not be a first-round grade, but because how some players go off the board, it's just like in rookie drafts. If everybody starts to go off, you're going to just take it because that's what the market says. So
No, I totally agree. I just don't want to be the team to do it.
Yeah, and I think Minnesota was in a similar situation in 2014 when they did that for Teddy. They traded up with Seattle and got him with the last pick in the first round. So, I mean, I get it, but we spent a lot of time on quarterbacks. So we'll jump to running backs. This is where a lot of it can get a lot more spread out and diversified. So, Brett, we'll start with you. Who is your biggest running back winner from this past weekend's combine?
You mean besides Barkley?
Yeah, we're not talking about Barkley. We get it. He's great.
We are always talking about Barkley.
And we're always talking about Noah Brown.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll make that trade.
Give and take.
Somebody I was a little Riley. Somebody I was a little low on that really impressed the hell out of me is Nick Chubb. I
think he's the obvious winner.
I just think he had an incredible – I did not expect him to do anything close to what he did there at the Combine. I thought that was really, really, really good. His 40, his shuttle, everything.
Yeah, he running a 4.52 for Chubb was a really, really big win. I thought he would be in, the early to mid 4.6s. I didn't think he'd be in the 4.5s.
I think most people did.
It was very surprising. Physically, he tested out really well this weekend, but
98th percentile Spark score.
Yeah, so I don't know. These situations for me is when player values just get shot through the roof because the player tested well. how often does a player test well and then gets on the field and really, doesn't live up to that expectation? Happens every year.
Here's my thing with Chubb is we saw him be hyper athletic and hyper productive pre-injury, and I think that his testing numbers proves that he is back to full health.
I was going to say, do you think that he rushed it coming back?
No, I think he was fine coming back. I just think that he wasn't fully 100%. He was probably running at 85, 90%, and he's now fully healthy, and now that's why he's putting up these numbers.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be as great in the NFL as everybody thinks he is. I think he's going to be a solid first and second down runner. And I think for Chubb, it depends a lot on situation. If he gets behind, a good offensive line, he'll be solid. But if he gets behind, an offensive line who struggles from time to time, say Seattle, if Seattle takes Chubb, then I'm worried. I'm not going to feel super safe taking him in the first round. But athletically, yes, he tested through the roof. One guy for me who really shocked me was Royce Freeman.
Yeah, I have him on my list too.
He had a lot more explosiveness to his game than I thought he did.
Yeah,
on tape, he looks really slow. He looks like a dump truck. No acceleration, just kind of sluggish all over the field. He's 230 pounds, so running in the 4.5s was phenomenal for Royce.
Not
I
only
think
that,
the big thing was with the jumps.
Oh yeah, I mean,
34-inch vertical, 9'10" broad.
Yeah, I mean, if you asked me to bet beforehand, I would have said under 30, under 9, because it's him. It's him on tape. So
it just makes you want to have to go back and rewatch these guys on film.
Yeah, I thought his also it showed more of his like lateral quickness, like his 3-cone and his 20-yard shuttle were also good too. Like I didn't think he was that shifty on his feet.
Yeah. So where do you guys think he'll end up being drafted?
Probably early to mid-second.
I think end of the first.
Okay. Let me rephrase. Where do you guys think he'll be drafted in the NFL draft?
Third round.
Third,
fourth.
Yeah, I could see late third, early fourth. If I had to bet right now, I'd say early fourth, just because there's so many of those running backs in that tier that I think the value drops.
Agreed.
So I don't know. He'll be an interesting one to see where he lands. Matt, did you have another particular winner you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I had two other guys that I had written down here. Bo Scarborough. I thought he didn't really. His time was okay. He ran a 4.52, but he jumped out of the gym. He had a 40-inch vertical and 10.9 broad jump. He only had a 14 reps on the bench, which is a little disappointing for a guy like that looks like him. So that's kind of deceiving. But I think people thought he was like. I thought he was going to get enough. He was going to be like everyone thought Derrick Henry was going to be. He's going to be another Brandon Jacobs, but he showed that he had some explosiveness to his game. I think he's a first and second down grinder, but in the right situation, I think that's okay because that's what the NFL is now. I would say probably 70% of backfields now are two running back backfields. So,
oh yeah, 100%.
I think he definitely helped himself because I think probably going into the combine, he was probably like a mid-third round rookie pick, and I think he may have found himself in the second round now in terms of dynasty rookie drafts.
Yeah, and I think his rookie draft value will depend on 95% of it will depend on where he gets picked in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
So right now, I don't see him being anything more than a late 5th or early 6th. I'd be shocked if he's taken earlier than that just because I don't think he can pass protect, amazingly. And he's not
going to be asked to pass protect. He's going to play on the first and second down.
Yeah, so he's just kind of limited in what he can do. So I think that's just going to make him fall a little bit.
I also had Rashad Penny written down too.
He ran well.
Yeah, 4.46, 32.5-inch vert, 10-foot broad jump. Another guy didn't test well on the bench, only 13 reps on the bench. I think he solidified himself as a probably a late first round rookie pick.
Yeah, I think regardless of where he ends up, I think there's gonna be at least 2 or 3 guys in every league that just love him. I've seen him go as early as like 104, 105 in rookie mock drafts. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see where all these guys end up because there aren't a lot of fantastic openings for running backs right now by teams. So, I mean, Tampa's interesting. Oakland is, would be fun to see. Other than that, there aren't a lot of really sexy spots like that.
Can I toss out another real quick winner?
Absolutely.
Akram Wadley.
No, how?
Wadley.
Why? Tell me how he was a winner. Please tell me how he was a winner.
I really thought that he ran pretty well.
He ran a 4.54 at 194. That is awful.
Dude,
he got a 32-inch vert, and he has 8 1/4-inch hands for
I
a guy
like
who
it.
catches the ball.
Don't knock the small people.
He's not good. I'm not okay. His comps in the middle of the year where he's LaShawn McCoy. He's not LaShawn McCoy running 4.54. There's no way. He's nothing more than a. That was all over draft Twitter was LaShawn McCoy. Akram Wadley's LaShawn McCoy. There is no way. He's a 3rd round rookie pick for me.
If LaShawn McCoy was running with a 50-pound backpack, then sure, that comp works for me. But
no way. I have written down as a big. I had him. I'm not saying you did, but he's a big loser for me, especially with those hands.
Brett, what did you see from Wadley other than his 4.55 40 that you loved? Like, is it a tape thing?
Yeah, it's more like in the running. I don't know. I thought his running with mesh with his tape, but obviously I don't have any of his numbers for the 3 code and stuff like that.
What did you like?
I don't think he ran
specifically from his tape. What did you like? I'm curious.
I think he can do a lot of things decently well. He's not a dude who does one thing great or a lot of things great, but I think he can do everything. Listen, I don't think he's going to be a stud muffin, but I think he's somebody in the real draft that can go in around the 4th round, and I think that he can be had in the late end of the 2nd, early 3rd. That I just don't think a lot of people are thinking about.
So you know who my comp
playing with this cord.
You know who my comp is for Wadley? Oh. You just described him perfectly. It's Paul Perkins. He does a lot of things. Yeah, not terrible, not great, but doesn't.
Riley, weren't you so about Paul Perkins?
I was about Paul Perkins too, and
I like Perkins because of his situation, and he could catch. So I think Perkins was a little bit better of a runner in college, but obviously not now. I mean, he's nothing now. So he'll maybe fight for that 3rd running back spot in New York, but he's definitely not going to challenge for a backup or definitely not a starter role. So that was more of a situational thing, especially in fantasy. Opportunity is everything. So when Perkins went to New York, I was like, absolutely. But, athletically, I think Perkins and Wadley are a lot of the same guy. And ultimately, I think Wadley's kind of end up falling off of the face of the earth.
He's a jag.
Yeah, he's just a guy. Nothing else. So losers, running back wise. Matt, we'll start with you. Other than Wadley, because that's already been
Mark Walton.
Yep, he was my first.
4.6 40, 31.5-inch vert. He plays quicker than that in his tape, so I'm not sure what the issue was there. Just another guy who I thought was going to run better and didn't.
Yeah, I thought he'd be a lot more explosive, and he just wasn't. I mean, I don't know how else to say it, but didn't show much. Brett, I know you were a big Mark Walton guy. How disappointed were you?
I was pretty disappointed in his combine. I think everybody was. I really liked his tape, but the combine makes me want to go back and reevaluate a little bit. I haven't done it yet, but I also don't know if he is 100% fully healthy from his surgery and his injury and stuff. So I don't know. There's questions for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up. Do you think it's an injury thing, or
I don't know if it's a lingering thing from his injury and stuff, or if I didn't catch something on tape. But I'm not the only one. A lot of people really do like Walton.
No, I like Walton. I thought he's interesting. I thought he was a guy that I would target probably in the early to mid second, but I don't know if I might have to go back and watch again.
Yeah, it kind of, when stuff like this happens at the combine for somebody that you do like, it kind of just shoots you a little red flag to all right, I need to go back and review a little bit.
I really was disappointed that Josh Adams didn't do any sort of on field testing. He did the bench, and I think he did 20 reps on the bench. So I'll definitely be interested to watch him at Notre Dame's pro day. But then again, at the pro day, you have to take that with a grain of salt too, because I mean they're not going to be true numbers that you're going to get from there either with the 40 times.
Yeah, I don't have the 40 thing here, but Kerryon Johnson didn't run a 40, did he?
I
don't have it written down for me.
I saw him. He dropped for a lot of people. I don't think he tested really well. I want to say he was close to a 4.6, and that's just.
I don't have it written down.
That's.
I'm looking it up now.
But yeah, I saw a lot of Dynasty Twitter just not liking the Kerryon Johnson numbers. Okay, he did not run a 40, but I don't think he tested well.
Yeah, he did. I think he had a 40-inch vert.
Oh, he did?
40-inch vert with a 10.6 broad.
Let's see. I'm pulling this up right now.
Yep, I got it right in front of me. He's 5'11 and 5'11 and a half, 213 pounds.
40-inch vert.
Yep.
10 feet 6 inches on the broad.
Little slow in the 3-cone, but
yeah,
not.
3-cone was over 7. That's
4.29 in the 20-yard shuttle.
See, I mean, I still think he's a late first-round rookie pick guy. Someone in your league is going to like him, just like they did with Rashad Penny.
Yeah, I think he's another really, really big landing spot guy. If he lands in Oakland, first round. Tampa, first round. So I don't know.
I'll be interested to see if Indy misses out on Barkley if they take someone at the top of the second, because I don't think that anyone besides Barkley goes in the first round.
I think Geis goes in the first. I think Geis goes probably somewhere around 23. Not to say the team who's picking at 23 needs him.
Yeah, because that's the Rams, so they definitely do not need him.
Yeah, no, I just think somewhere around the 20s, I think somebody might move up to get him.
I think a team who would be interesting for him would be a team maybe like Washington. That would be a team that I think in the late teens who might be interesting with him.
Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit. Yes,
Detroit
that's another.
Be,
I totally agree with that
20,
too.
I think 20 or 21.
Yeah.
Seattle.
I'd
be so upset if Geis goes to Seattle.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Seattle can help themselves in free agency. I mean, they can't have the same guys they had come in last year and expect to have any semblance of a run game.
Yeah, I mean, even if they do bolster the offensive line, they're going to split carries. So they're going to give Carson some. They're going to throw to Procise or J.D. McKissick, even if he's still involved next year. Or, if they sign somebody, because they'll go into camp with probably 7 or 8 guys and then, cut down from there. That's what they did last preseason with Alex Collins. Like, they had Collins in camp and then cut him. So, is what it is. I had Ronald Jones as a loser just because he hurt himself running his 40.
I don't count that because that just is not – I don't know.
I know. So
people get those injuries.
Yeah, but – I mean, kind of what I was saying is no one really got to know exactly how fast he was. And I don't think they're going to know now. So if he was fully healthy and would have run a 40, then that would have been great.
When's their pro day?
USC should be later. That'll be closer to draft time. But, I mean, I just would have liked to see him healthy and see him run everything. It kind of sucks that he got hurt at the first part of his testing. But
I want to know actually how fast he is.
That's why I just said he was a loser.
No. I'm just thinking to myself, I know I'm kind of out of it tonight. I don't know because everybody says how fast he is and how he compares to everybody else, but I'm kind of bummed, like you said, that we don't have a set time to compare.
Yeah, and I mean it just sucks that we don't know that now. So, we'll see a little bit of him at his pro day. Hopefully we'll get to see him catch some passes because we know he didn't do a lot of that at USC. I don't know. If he ends up being a second or third round NFL pick, then I think all will be fine. So I'm not worried about it too much right now. But we'll go ahead and jump to wide receivers. I think these are pretty much chalk or Chark, however you want to say it, for the winners. So I'll go ahead and start. DJ Chark as the big winner. That was supposed to be kind of a play on words, but Brett's on his phone now, so
No, really, I missed that.
Yeah, no, I totally
are
didn't
so
get
good.
that
I
at all.
missed. Yeah.
I'm so
Anyway.
happy.
with Chark running in the 4.3s and him being 6'3", 6'4",
6'3",
6'3", value's
200
going up.
pounds,
Yeah, value's going up for him.
and the jumps helped him too.
Yeah, athletic freak. He's a punt and kick returner too, which is going to boost his value a lot. So,
Where do you think he goes in the draft now? You think he's probably a late second, early third guy?
I think he's a late second. I mean, I personally wouldn't take him there. I don't think he's a polished receiver, but because he's that tall, runs that fast, and can return for you, and you can build him up as a receiver, I think his value gets boosted a lot. So I think he and Dante Pettis should be around the same area now. With Chark will go first, and then after Chark goes off the board, I think Pettis goes pretty quickly after him. Yeah, so did you guys have any receivers that really stood out for you?
I got a good one.
Okay,
Oh shit! I just lost it. DJ
Matt.
Moore. DJ
DJ Moore?
Oh, DJ Moore. Wow, good one. Yeah.
Really? I didn't see that coming.
All right, I quit.
All right, Brett quits. Brett, what do you think DJ Moore's ceiling is? And what do you
Like
think
for like draft picks wise, or like what he can be.
yeah, ceiling, what he can be, kind of both. And also at the same time, what do you think his floor for both of those are?
I think his floor is kind of like a Deshaun Jackson almost. But I think his ceiling can be, I don't know, like maybe I haven't really found a really good comparison.
I got
for
a
him
good
yet.
one. I got a
I
good
bet
one.
Matt's got one.
Golden Tate is his floor, and Antonio Brown is his ceiling.
Yeah,
Wow.
I've seen Antonio Brown. I've seen Steve Smith, which I think I agree with a little bit more for the ceiling.
I see the same glimpses of his game when I watch his tape. Even before these numbers, I had him at my 103. Not my 103, my third wide receiver. But he plays so much bigger than his size, and that's the same thing Antonio Brown does. They do that both so well. They both high point the ball. They both run well after the catch. They're both thicker, smaller receivers.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say smaller. I would say
More
mid
'cause he's
size.
5'11". I was going to make the same.
He's 6 feet
comment.
tall.
Yeah. Or he
Broad
did
jump
test out at
real.
6.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, Moore's interesting. I wasn't super high on his tape, but metrically, I mean, just from seeing his tape, he's 5'11", probably going to be close to 195-ish. I think he came in right at
210.
Yeah. Because Maryland had him listed smaller. So
Yeah, which is crazy. The same thing
weird.
that, like with Barkley,
weird.
Penn State had him listed at 5'11", 225, and he's 6 foot 233.
Yeah, and that never happens. Usually they're.
I remember when you were talking about this on the Dummies podcast with Ridley, how you said he's gonna be 194 or below.
Yeah, and I think Ridley came in the 180s, didn't he?
189.
Oh, I mean that makes me nervous, but
Yeah, we'll definitely get to him in a little bit.
yeah, we'll get to Calvin. So yeah, weird that he was smaller, or that he was listed smaller on the website. But I mean, I think he'll be a second round guy in the NFL draft, and if somebody like Chicago takes him or San Francisco, you better believe he's probably going to be your 103.
I think he's a late first.
You think he's a late first?
Yep, I do.
See, I think after this weekend, his stock's gone. I mean, I think it's top 5.
No,
think
late first in a real NFL draft.
Oh, yep.
Sorry.
I
No,
get
he's
that.
definitely top. I think he's a top 5-ish guy, depending on where the running backs land.
I could definitely see the top 5 right now being Barkley, Geis, and then some mixture of Chubb, Moore, and Sutton.
Yep.
That's probably going to be the 5. So I'm glad that it's all shaking out, but then again, I'm kind of upset that all of my decent value sleeper guys are, rising.
I got a good one. I got a good one for you then.
Yeah.
Well, I got two guys I haven't mentioned so far. Well, you just mentioned Sutton, 6'3", 218, ran a 4.5 440, not like out of this world. Jumped 35 and a half, and then 10.4 broad. But the thing that really got him was the 6.5 7.3 cone, which was insane for a guy that big to run that good of a 3 cone. I think he had either the best or the second best 3 cone time out of all the receivers.
Yeah, that absolutely shocked me. I could not believe he ran the 3 cone that fast. He ran it in almost half a second faster than Dalvin Cook. Probably half a second faster.
DJ Moore, I was a little disappointed with his 3 cone time at 6'9 and a half.
Yeah. I mean, DJ helped himself. I don't think people care about his 3 cone now. So,
but another guy that I haven't seen anyone talking about him. It was a guy that I was interested in before the draft. Allen Lazard. I think he had a really good combine. 6'4", 225, ran a 4.55. That's good for his size. He also jumped 38 inches and had a 10.2 broad. I mean, for that size, I mean, I think he can play as a plus possession receiver.
Yeah, he definitely ran a lot better than I thought he was going to. One of my hot takes was that he'll be a tight end in 3 years.
I don't think so anymore.
Yeah, not now. Not if he's running a 4.5. I compared him to Darren Waller. I thought they would have had pretty similar career paths. So, I'm glad that he ran faster. He was another guy who looked really, really good at the Senior Bowl. High points the ball really well. Great red zone threat. He had very strong hands. He made a lot of really good hand catches away from his body too. So that was impressive. He's definitely going to be a guy I'm going to have to go back and rewatch.
So, I think he's still probably a late third. He's one of these late third, fourth round guys for the NFL draft. So I mean, he's a guy you can probably get in the late second of the rookie draft.
Yeah,
I got a question.
What's up?
Oh, my bad. Are we still going with this? I have a question for after about somebody that I see the dynasty community split kind of on.
Okay, I've got one. I've kind of got one or two winners here. First off, one being Antonio Callaway.
Yeah.
I know he's an idiot off the field. He's been to prison probably like 16 times in the past 3 years. Fraud, theft, pretty much everything he's got marked off. Weed for sure. But he ran a 4.4 and looked really, really good in everything he did. So it just depends on if a team takes a chance on him.
I remember I texted you on Saturday, and I was like, Callaway looked really smooth running the gauntlet.
Yeah, before this season happened, before the whole credit card scandal and everything, I had Callaway as a top 3 receiver, and I comped him to Antonio Brown. I said that was his ceiling because route running's fantastic, really strong hands, can catch away from his body, does everything really, really, really well. But red flags, off the field red flags are going to kill him. One more kind of winner I had was Dylan Cantrell from Texas Tech. 6'3", 226. He ran a 4.59. He jumped 38 and a half inches. And he's the best blocker in the class. Does this remind you of anybody from last year's class? Good size, didn't run really well, but really strong and great blocking. I know who it is. His name rhymes with Boa Noun.
Shut up! Oh my god.
Okay, that's the plug for Noah. But I think Cantrell's interesting. He'll probably be a 6th or 7th round pick. Gonna have to fight for a roster spot, but athletically tested, through the roof, really good size. So he's an interesting kind of upside guy you can get in the 5th round of your rookie draft. So Brett, what was your question about the 50-50 split?
After the combine, I've seen a lot of people split on Christian Kirk.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd like to know your guys' thoughts.
I was listening to the first draft podcast with Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, and Kiper has him as a 1st-round draft pick.
See, I just still don't see it in his game.
I think, but here's what I don't understand is these guys who are these draft nicks who do this every single year, who are more connected than any Twitter scout. These guys are saying that he's a possible 1st-round draft pick. Why are we taking more stock in that?
Because the same guys said that Jevin Sneed was going to be a top 5 pick. You guys remember who Jevin Sneed was, the Ole Miss quarterback who, Todd McShay said he's going top 5. So Sneed entered the draft, didn't even get picked in 7 rounds. He signed with Tampa for like 2 weeks and then never played again.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy even is.
Exactly. So I don't know.
But we have to look at it a little bit. Like, I know you don't like Kirk at all. Like, you probably think he's a 3rd round draft pick.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, he's not. I don't think he goes that late. He offers too much value in the punt return game. He can play in the slot, regardless of what you think about him. He ran in the 4.4s at the combine. He's going to be a 2nd round draft pick. That's his floor. I think he goes in the 2nd round. I think he goes in the 2nd round in the NFL draft, and he's probably an early to mid 2nd round in rookie pick too.
Yeah, and ultimately, I think it comes down to where the receivers above him fall. So if Ridley goes in the 1st and DJ Moore goes late 1st, then yeah, he's probably going 2nd just because the guys are going off quickly. Kind of how we said with running backs earlier. But if Ridley slips to the 2nd, if Sutton goes late 1st, if James Washington falls to the 2nd, which I think he will, DJ Moore falls to the 2nd, then I think he goes 3rd. So because I think DJ Chark gets drafted above him, I think Dante Pettis gets drafted above him. So, I mean, it's just my opinion. It wouldn't shock me, though, because he's a heck of an athlete. He ran the 4.4s, and he's a returner. So,
and he had a productive season his first season at Texas A&M too. I mean, and he had less. I mean, Kellen Mond would love to have Jalen Hurts' arm talent. That's what I think. Kellen Mond is a worse form of Jalen Hurts,
and that says a lot. It speaks volumes. But, I mean, yeah, I'm not too high on him. I'll let somebody else draft him. If I miss, oh, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that's just kind of my thoughts on him. I get why people like him. I get it. But not my cup of tea right now. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll just go over losers pretty quick. I think it's pretty self-explanatory why some of my losers are losers. Brett, we'll let you go first on this one if you have anybody.
Auden Tate.
Yep.
I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. When you
run
slow, you don't jump high at all. Your broad jump is not good. I don't know where you could see anything that's even remotely close to being okay at the combine there.
Yeah, seeing the really, really bad 4.6s, close to 4.7s, it sucks. But I mean, at the same time, you kind of have to take into perspective that's not how he wins. He wins with his size, strong hands, and pretty good, short to intermediate route running. So
I was hoping with his size that the jump ball would be there, but that's not even there.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get from the combine. Like, that stuff you just get from tape. Maybe pro days if you do stuff in the red zone. Probably not, though. I mean, that's something you see on tape and then in training camp when you're with your team.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it'll be interesting to see where he gets picked. I think he's probably a 3rd or 4th round pick in the NFL now. I think he slips to the mid to late 2nd in rookie drafts, which I'll be all over him if he's late 2nd.
I'm not touching him.
Really?
I'm not either.
I'm not touching him.
Okay, so I'm going to make you say yes. So what if he lands in Baltimore?
Nope.
Still no?
Nope.
No. The only good wide receivers in Baltimore are the ones that can run really fast downfield, and Joe Flacco can just throw it.
See, but what if Baltimore doesn't bring in any other?
He's a glorified tight end.
Do you think he could possibly make a transition to tight end in the next 3 years?
I don't think so. But he's a nothing more than a red zone threat. That's all he is.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely a red zone threat. I see a lot of upside in.
I think he's a less athletic Josh Dotson. That's what he is.
Oof. Hitting it where it hurts.
Because at least Dotson tested well. He was a great jump ball guy. I mean, he high pointed the ball well, but I mean, Tate had the second worst broad jump of any of the receivers.
And it sucks because he's 6'5". He's tall. So why can't you jump far? I don't know.
And he was only 228. I mean, he's not that heavy. I mean, Barkley 233 and broad jumped. Actually, he didn't broad jump. He verticaled 41 inches. He did 10 inches more than Tate did.
He's a running back
at 10 pounds heavier.
Barkley's a freak. Like, you can't compare Barkley to him.
Yeah, he would have tied for the best vertical and the second best 40 of the wide receivers, which is just insane.
Jesus wouldn't have even verticaled 40. So I don't know. You can't compare Barkley to Auden Tate, but I get it. I mean, I'm still interested in Tate just because I liked his tape. I see some upside, but I'm definitely not going to touch him with an early second. So, plus, I mean, after the early to mid second, they're dart throws anyways.
Do you think? So here's a comp that you might be interested in. Is Auden Tate kind of like a Devin Funchess?
I think Tate
first version.
I think Tate is a lot more polished than Funchess was.
Yeah, but I think Funchess is a better catcher of the ball and more athletic.
I mean, yes and no. I think Funchess was really soft coming out of college. Obviously, couldn't run at all.
He's a tight end in college.
I know. I see a lot more upside with Tate. And I know Funchess has improved drastically over the last year and a half, which has been great. I'm just saying, when I compare him prospect by prospect, I'm a lot higher on Tate than I was on Funchess. So, I don't know. We'll give and take. We'll learn. But plus, NFL draft stock matters a lot too.
Sure.
So, just a couple other really quick receiver losers. Jake Winke from South Dakota.
He wasn't even on the board, but yeah.
See, a lot of guys liked him though as kind of a late round guy. After he ran a 4.67, I said, "Nope, game over."
Yeah.
Didn't run well at all. I'll be shocked if he's even drafted.
Yeah.
So we can kind of scratch him off. My boy Simi Cobbs, and I mean by boy, I mean my
pour one out.
Yeah. So that was a hit for me. I knew he wasn't going to test well. Not fast, not athletic. He can catch.
All of the big body receivers outside of Lazard were losers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I included Marshall Aitman in there too.
Yeah, it's just everybody loved, before the combine, everybody's like, this is the best big guy receiver class.
It's because they offer prototypical size. That's what it is. It's just looking at size.
Right. And just they can't offer athleticism.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying Lazard, with what he tested at, I think he's probably the second best big body receiver.
Yeah. I mean, you can make that argument now after all the numbers are out. Tight end, there's not a lot.
Wait. Did we say anything about Calvin Ridley?
We didn't. I mean, I didn't think he was a big loser. I didn't think he was a big winner.
I thought he was definitely probably one of the biggest losers of the whole combine.
I mean, he's 190 at best.
He is. He's 189.
So yeah, I mean, I still think he just wins with
jumps. He ran a 4.43 40, which is what everyone expected to do, but he totally just shot the bed on the jumps. 31 inch vertical and a 9.2 broad.
Yeah, but when are you going to have Calvin Ridley jump for the ball?
I'm just saying it does. Why his speed doesn't match up with his jumps, which means he's going to take longer to get going, which means I think he's going to struggle against press coverage.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's fair. I still think he's an amazing route runner. I still think he's probably the first wide receiver drafted in the draft.
See,
I think Sutton goes before him now, for sure. But I think because of Ridley's stock going down, I think he's going to be a really nice rookie pick.
Yeah, I think like when you and I were talking yesterday, if Calvin Ridley is Emmanuel Sanders, I think you got a great player.
100%. And even if you have to reach and get him at 106-ish, I think you're going to be fine. He's going to be a wide receiver 3 for many years.
Wide receiver 2-3. He's going to be he's going to be a usable fantasy asset who people disrespect.
Even if he's coming in at age 32. So
turns 24 in December. Damn it!
He'll be the guy you get as side pieces in big blockbuster deals that actually turns out to be the better consistent piece.
Like Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah.
I think Emmanuel Sanders is a great comp for him. Matt, just go ahead and talk about Gesicki for about 20 seconds, and then we'll wrap it up.
Mike Gesicki, I didn't see that speed on tape. Did not see it.
I didn't either.
Obviously, everyone knew he's going to jump out of the gym. If you didn't know this, Mike Gesicki played volleyball and basketball in high school. In case you didn't know that, the jumps were there. The 3-cone time, 6.76. That was lower than what a lot of these receivers are running. I mean, he beat DJ Moore by almost 0.2 of a second.
Yeah,
So-
that whole NFL tweet where they said like ran faster than OBJ, jumped higher, or
Yeah, they did a
jumped
bunch of
higher
those
than
this
somebody.
year.
It was crazy, but they were all nuts. Like
Yeah.
bench pressed more than Aaron Donald, bigger than Calvin Johnson. That's all insane.
Yeah.
So, Matt, real quick, how highly would you draft Gesicki in just we'll say tight end premium, in a
Tight end
regular,
premium?
in a 12-team tight end premium?
Somewhere I'm probably looking at him still like the 204, 205-ish.
Great answer. Okay, cool. That's where I was seeing him. I was just going to see if you were going to say late first.
No, he's still not there because he can't block.
Perfect. And who's your comp for him, which I just absolutely love?
Cameron Brate.
I love it. I think
More
that's
athletic
fantastic.
Cameron Brate.
I'm just waiting for
I'm getting better at those. I'm getting better at my comps, Riley.
I'm waiting for the Evan Ingram comps to start coming out.
Yeah, I think
Wait
they'll
till-
be there too.
He's
Evan
nowhere
was-
close to that though.
Yeah, Ingram was a fantastic receiver.
What?
Like he was a
No,
wide
Gesicki was a
receiver.
good receiver too, but here's the thing. Everyone's blowing Ingram out of proportion because of his situation last year when all his receivers got hurt and he was basically made to be their top target.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that definitely.
He's going to be overdrafted in every startup this year.
Yeah, I've seen him go third round,
That's absurd.
early third, which is beyond me. I would rather wait. Just as a little startup note, I would rather overdraft David Njoku in the 5th round than have Ingram in the 3rd. So I don't know. The Ingram inflation is just massive right now.
Do
But
you guys have any losers for the tight ends?
I liked Tyler Conklin on tape. He ran a 4.8, so I don't know. Again, I'm taking the combine with a grain of salt. Conklin's kind of a just more physical, precision guy, good blocker, good pass catcher. He can catch away from his body, and he's a little bit undersized. He's 6'2", 240-ish, 245. Scratch that. He may be 6'2", 250. Not really sure right now. Don't have the numbers in front of me, but I liked him on tape. He's just not a fantastic athlete. So
I had 3 guys written down as losers. I'll do them all quickly. First one was Fumagalli. Fumagalli only did 14 reps at 225. He's basically the same size as Gesicki, and Gesicki did 6 more reps, and Fumagalli is supposed to be a blocker. Don't know how that makes any sense.
I'm disappointed too.
Dallas Goddard didn't test anything. He just measured in and just said toodles.
it's because I don't think he would have run well at all. I think he's
And then my last tight end thing, and I'm going to be a little bit of a diatribe here. Jalen Samuels is not a tight end.
I agree.
He's basically Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah, I think that's a good comp for him. I saw Marcel Reese as a comparison. I thought that was pretty solid.
He's going to be like a 6th round draft pick, and like he's not a tight end. He's
Yeah.
5'11", 225, and ran the same speed as Gesicki did at 6 inches shorter and 20 pounds lighter.
Yeah, he'll be your H-back, so he'll be in on a lot of dual running back sets where the quarterback's got a running back at each hip. You know, I could see any NFL running back.
He has no fantasy value. He's like a 4th or 5th round pick in fantasy draft, in rookie
Yeah,
draft.
I'm not really excited about him fantasy-wise. If I'm an NFL GM, then I'm very excited about him
Yeah,
in the 4th
100%
round.
agree. Yeah.
Because you can use him in so many different. He can block, he can run, he can catch, and he's going to do all those things very, very well. So, but fantasy value, nah, not seeing it.
What do you think of Hayden Hurst?
I thought he helped himself a lot. Like I said, I was listening to that first draft podcast. They think he could go in the 1st round of the NFL draft. He's probably right around there with Gesicki. I don't think he's quite the athlete Gesicki is, but he can block. Only problem is he's 26 years old.
The age, and I'm not even that big of like an age hater, but that is a little nerve wracking.
Yeah. So unless you guys have any parting thoughts, I think this will do it for us. So, Matt, Brett, you guys got any final words to say?
I just watched a video of Alvin Kamara do that yoke walk with the truck behind him pulling it. Ain't nobody gonna tackle him next year. That was insane. I don't know if you've seen the video yet.
I saw it.
Yeah, I saw it. I mean, that's great.
No, I'm completely joking that nobody's gonna tackle him, but that's insane.
I think that's another good. I think that's a good. I think with Kamara, you bring up a good segue here about just guys who didn't test well. Is maybe they may fall in the draft a little bit, but I mean they're gonna still. There's these guys that are just gonna not test well, and then the season's gonna come around, and they're just gonna blow it up, and we're just like, why didn't we see this at the combine?
Yeah, well, pretty much the entire running back draft class from last year: Kamara, Kareem Hunt, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, none of
those guys blew it out of the water, but they didn't need to because they're great football players.
I would like to say that Sony Michel tested very similar to how Kamara tested last year, and people were really scared about it. He wasn't doing well this year.
Can I release my Sony Michel comp here right at the end?
Sure.
Lamar Miller. I see a lot of Lamar Miller and Sony Michel, but Miller's undervalued.
But he's bigger than Miller though, right?
They're both like 5'10 and a half to 20-ish.
Okay.
I thought Sony Michel was 6 foot.
I didn't think he was 6 feet.
I have it right here. Hold on.
But yeah, I think he and Miller both have very similar play styles. I think
he's
they'll
5'10", 5'10 and a half.
Okay, yeah, so
220, 5'10 and a half.
Blindly. Yeah, that's Lamar Miller.
I thought he was a little bit bigger than that.
And
5'10 and a half, yeah.
We saw it in the Rose Bowl. Michel excelled when he was not the bell cow, when he was just the 50-50 guy, where you said, here's the ball in space, go do your thing. And I think that's what Miller does phenomenally. You know, when Miller was the bell cow in Houston, it was rough. He was running from, 3.8 yards per carry. But when you got him out on swing routes and when you just got him the ball in space, he did his thing. And he gained yards. He made defenders miss. So, yeah, I think that's kind of my Michel comp. I came up with that a couple weeks ago and loved it. That's probably my favorite comp for me for this class so far. But right before we end, I have some somewhat of breaking news. I got an update on my phone. Seahawks plan to release Richard Sherman in the next couple days.
Yep.
And they're seriously talking about Earl Thomas trades. I just got that one.
Which means they got no trade offers for Richard Sherman because
he's got a huge cap hit. He's coming off a torn Achilles, and he's 30?
Yeah.
Nobody's going to offer up a lot for that. So you might as well just take a 6th-round flyer on a corner, coming out this year. So, but other than that, I think that's going to do it for us. Leave us a rate and review on iTunes. Slide to our DMs. Let us know if you guys have anything you want us to talk about specifically on the pod. Give us a follow on Twitter. We're at the 3 Cone Pod. And Brett, why don't you tell the people where they can find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Dynasty Brett.
And to our favorite Mormon?
At Fat Mormon, FATTMOREMAN.
I love it. And you can find me at DTC_Riley B. We will see you guys next week, and that'll do it for us.
Doodles.
Deuces.